By the end of this video, you will know how to feed your sourdough starter. You will know the exact ratios to feed your starter perfectly every time. And you will no longer have to deal with tons of excess discard that you end up throwing away. But at the same time, you'll be able to have extra discard when you want it, because we'll keep a jar of extra just in case. I will also give you a list of ideas on how to use up your extra discard. So for this recipe I'm sharing with you, which is 300 to 340 grams of starter, 600 grams of water, 900 grams of flour, and 16 to 20 grams of salt. So the perfect ratio to feed your starter with this recipe is 40 grams of starter, and then you will add 40 grams of flour and 40 grams of water. This is the perfect ratio because you're going to need to feed your starter twice. Right after you've made your bread, you'll feed it the first time, and you'll put this into the fridge. This way you can make this starter whenever you want. Maybe it's a week later, maybe it's the next day. If it's the next day, you'll need to pull it out and let it sit on the counter and rise. It needs about 5 hours at room temperature, or in the fridge about a week. It will be fully risen. So if it's been a week, you can just pull it right out and then go ahead and feed it your second feeding. So your second feeding, at this point, you have now 120 grams of starter because you fed it 40, 40, and 40, and that equals 120. So you're going to add 120 grams of flour. After you feed it 120 grams of flour, you're going to go ahead and add 120 grams of water. This is the perfect ratio because most of the time you don't want all this extra discard. If you have extra discard every single time, you're going to end up with jars and jars full of discard, unless, of course, you use it all the time, which there are some great recipes that I will show you at the end of this video to use up that discard. But what's nice about this is that you can choose when you want extra. So at this point, you won't have extra unless you add more. You can always do a 1 to 2 to 2 ratio, meaning instead of doing the 1 to 1 to 1 ratio of 40, 40 to 40, you can actually do a 1 to 2 to 2 ratio, meaning 40 grams of starter to 80 grams of water to 80 grams of flour. So after you feed the starter, you're going to go ahead and let it rise for about 5 hours. If after 5 hours it has reached its peak height, right before it's about to deflate. You don't want it to deflate, but if it's risen to its peak height at 5 hours, you know that you are in good shape. Your sourdough starter is very active. It looks bubbly like this, and it's ready to add to your sourdough recipe. Now, if it hasn't quite doubled in size or tripled in size, then your sourdough starter probably isn't active enough and you need to feed it again and just get it really active. That could be because maybe you left it in the fridge for a long time and it just might need a couple feedings to get active again. Okay, so at this point you can go ahead and make your recipe, add your starter, and don't forget to leave at least 40 grams of starter to go ahead and feed for your next batch. And as you can see here, I forgot and I had to pull some out, and that's totally okay. Now for your sourdough starter, you have this awesome website called littlespoonfarm.com that has so many amazing recipes to use your discard and your starter so that you have so many different options to make your food not only healthier, but taste way better. Your friends and your family are going to be so impressed. I love the versatility of sourdough starter. I just had no idea you could use starter in like cookies. And look, even pasta. And these cinnamon rolls are actually pumpkin cinnamon rolls. You won't believe all the health benefits. I've spent time researching and figuring out why it is that this sourdough bread has just been so amazing for my gut and for my health. Even store-bought sourdough bread is just not the same. I mean, have you ever seen the list of ingredients that are on sourdough bread? The list is so long. But why do they need all those ingredients? Because they skipped the long fermentation process. But it's the long fermentation process that gives sourdough bread its health benefits. It's the good bacteria that's able to grow and thrive during that long fermentation process that makes it more bioavailable to your body. It affects the nutrition levels and it reduces gas and bloating. Research has shown that the minerals that are present in sourdough are in a more available form than other breads. So flour is a source of calcium, sodium, zinc, magnesium. These minerals must be broken down though in order for our bodies to absorb them. While baker's yeast, which is what they typically put in regular bread, it's unable to break down the complex mineral structure. However, sourdough organisms can break down that structure really easily and effectively. And this increases the amount of minerals available to be absorbed in your gut. Sourdough discard is rich in probiotics, which can help improve your gut digestion and a healthy gut microbiome. The beneficial bacteria in sourdough bread can help crowd out the harmful bacteria and trigger the gut lining to produce antimicrobial substances. And it's not just the minerals you're absorbing better. It's the low pH of sourdough bread combined with its long fermentation process that allows nutrients like carbohydrates and proteins with a more complex structure to digest more easily by partially breaking down into smaller units. Sourdough bread also has a lower glycemic index than other store-bought breads, so it doesn't cause the blood sugar to spike as much. When you feed your family sourdough bread, you are giving them health, and health is wealth. The proof is in the results. While I feel sluggish and tired after eating regular bread, when I eat sourdough bread, I actually have energy. I feel good. I don't have bloating or gas or any of those uncomfortable issues. Now, of course, if I eat other foods along with it that my body disagrees with, then that's another story. But sourdough bread alone is amazing. Plus, it just tastes way better. It is so easy. I have a whole nother video. I'll attach a link below, and it is all about how to make amazing sourdough bread with great results every time. So check that out. You don't want to miss that. It's gonna make your life so much easier. It will just help you make those troubleshooting issues that most people have trying to figure out sourdough starter so much easier. I show you exactly what the texture should look like during each stage. You'll know exactly how to do everything with sourdough so that you can make perfect bread that your family loves every single time. Because I am passionate about getting you the best information on how to keep your body healthy, and I have tons more videos coming. So if you're someone who's passionate about knowing how you can help your body naturally, you will want to like and subscribe, because I have got remedies that will blow your mind, that work more effectively. Or I will say this, I am not a doctor, but I have been prescribed things before that didn't work, or I found natural remedies that worked way better. So you won't want to miss this, I promise. And all of these things I share from personal experience. So come along and I will share with you all of the knowledge I've gained over the years. Learning to make sourdough will be one of the most rewarding experiences. Not only is it healthy for you, but you just feel so good when you're doing it. I call it sourdough therapy. So don't be intimidated by sourdough. Just jump right in, like my husband did last weekend when we were camping in this ice cold water. But I promise, sourdough bread making is way more fun than jumping into ice cold water. but I think he enjoyed it. Maybe as much as I enjoy making sourdough. Just look at that smile on his face. So don't forget to don't forget to click that link below, and also like and subscribe for more videos.